darlings, in this week's video I'm going to share with you my vintage nightgown collection. I've been collecting vintage sleepwear and nightgowns for a couple of years now, and pretty much everything that I own is from the thrift store. I have a couple of nightgowns that I bought online, but for the most part it's all from the thrift store for a very reasonable price, so make sure to go and check your local thrift store out because you'll be surprised at what you can sometimes find. And before we get into the video, I thought I'd just let you know that Lacey Faye, another vintage YouTuber, has just released a video about her 1950 sleepwear collection, so I'll link her video down below if you want to go check it out. So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get into the video. So the first piece I have here is actually a slip, but it's just so pretty and you can actually wear it as a nightgown if you wanted, so I thought I'd try it on. My nightgown collection ranges from the 1940s up until the 1980s. When I go thrifting, I'm usually just drawn to whatever is lacy and beautiful and flowy, so I don't restrict myself to only buying a certain decade of lingerie. So this here is a lovely 1940s nightgown that I bought online through an Instagram account called Audrey Scarlett Vintage, and it is an absolute dream. So I'll try it on for you so you can see how lovely it is. The ruffles on the bodice are my absolute favourite, and I think they just really add to the silhouette of this dress and make it something very feminine and very 40s as well. It's not a silhouette that you would get in the 50s, having this sort of bodice and the waist. And it's just very slim, not flared out and puffy like the 1950s. It's my absolute favourite, I love it to bits. And I thought I would also share with you these gorgeous 1940s heels, little slippers to wear around the house with your nightgown. Aren't they just the cutest? They're so glamorous. I mean, not very comfortable, not for everyday use, but if you are feeling a little bit extra, they are nice to slip on and go to the kitchen to make yourself a cup of tea. So for the next nightgown, this is something that I picked up recently. It was probably $2 or $3 and I just thought it was so lovely. It had really nice details on the bodice, had some embroidery here, and I'm not actually sure what this sort of sewing technique is, but I just thought it looked really, really nice. So I'm not exactly sure what era this is from. It may be from the 80s or the 90s, but it was too sweet to pass up. So I'll try it on for you. So it's kind of hard to see because I'm not really showing the bottom half of me, but I will give you another shot so you can see. But this is just a really sheer and soft nightie, and it's something that I often go to because it's just so comfy and you want to be comfortable when you go to bed. So this is the bottom half of the nightie. It's just a really nice length, it doesn't get in the way, and yeah, it's another one of my favorites, my recent favorites. So this one is a floor length nightie, and this may be from the 50s or 60s. It does have a tag on it, and another thing to keep an eye out for when you are going thrifting or looking for something that is vintage is you can have a look at the label and you can actually look up online to see what decade that's from. So this is the label on this nightgown, and this is actually a Melbourne-based brand, so it's local. It has some little roses tucked away in the lace, which is just a really nice detail. So here it is, a lovely little pink nightgown. And if you can't tell, I obviously do have a thing for pink nighties because looking at the rack that I have over there, it's majority, like 80% pastel pink. And here are the details up close. There's a 3-tier fabric on the shoulders. It's just overall a very lovely and feminine nightie. And this lovely little number is another one of my favorites because it is so comfy to sleep in. I believe this might be a 1980s or 1990s nightgown, and yeah, I just picked it up because I thought it had the sweetest little detailing above the bodice here, and yeah, it's another one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, I can't help it. Okay, now I'm going to share with you my bed jackets. This is a favorite of mine that I actually picked up when I was going to see my family over the holidays, and I think it cost me $4 from a thrift store, of course. Now, this next one here is an absolute statement piece. I don't actually know what era it's from, probably the 50s or the 60s, and it's just so cute. I'll put it on so you can see. The sleeves on this are just absolutely stunning. I feel like a Hollywood star wearing this little bed jacket. It's just so cute. Isn't it just the prettiest thing ever? This is quite warm though. It's surprisingly, I guess just because it's nylon, it's not very breathable, and it's a very hot day today. This is also another little bed jacket that I actually got from my sister. My sister picked this one up at an antique store, and she so kindly gifted it to me. And Nan told us that these little bed jackets were actually worn by women when they went to hospital to have their baby, and when they were sitting up in bed, they had a little bed jacket on to cover themselves up so they were nice and modest, which I think is just very sweet and cute. And these need to turn into a fashion statement, wearing bed jackets as a bedtime accessory, because why wouldn't you want to wear something like this? This one is a little 1960s nightgown, and it is a very comfortable one because it's cotton. It is unlike all my others that I have, which are all pretty much nylon. This is just really nice to have a cotton nightgown that's breathable and just overall very cute and very comfy. And I believe I got this one from my sister too. I can't really remember, but most of these, like I said, I got from the op shop and they were very cheap. So yes, I sometimes occasionally pinch things from my sister. April, if you're watching this, you may start to find your nightgown collection is shrinking because I keep pinching them. And it has a cute little lacy flounce at the bottom. Now, this lovely little robe that I got is actually probably part of a peignoir set, which means that it had a matching nightgown with it, but when I bought it, it didn't have its little matching number, so I can just match it with any of my nightgowns, especially the blue ones, because it has a very, very light blue hint to it, which means that it pairs perfectly. This one here is a brunch jacket that I actually picked up in New Zealand at an op shop there. Also, when I refer to op shops, I mean thrift stores. In Australia and New Zealand, we call them op shops, which just stands for opportunity shop. Anyway, this sweet one here is actually one of my favorite robes or dressing gowns, little brunch coat. When we're in the in-between months, when it's not freezing cold and it's not really hot, I often wear this. It's just silky and it kind of adds a little bit of glamour. Even if the nightgown that you're wearing isn't very glamorous, it automatically makes it fancy. So this is what I mean. It's a very lovely cut and look like you're a little bit more put together than walking around the house in dad guild pajamas. Another one of my favorites. It actually has a lining that's attached to it, which makes it really nice, and it's not completely sheer. You have a little bit of coverage, and yeah, it's a really nice flowy nightgown, and it's probably a 50s or 60s piece. Now this piece here, I have actually shared with you all before. This was in my vintage closet video. My favorite 1950s dressing gown. For a really long time I was trying to find something that was warm and glamorous because I didn't want to wear a modern dressing gown. I just wasn't feeling it. So I ended up finding this. I'm pretty sure I got it on eBay, and it has that new look silhouette with a flared skirt. So I'll try it on to show you. And the buttons on this are very gorgeous and sparkly and really make it a glamorous dressing gown. This here is a lovely peignoir set. It has the nightgown and the matching robe for it. And this is something, again, what my sister got me for one of my birthdays. And it's absolutely beautiful, in pristine condition. There is absolutely no faults or holes or rips or anything. And this is a 1950s piece. This is a very feminine cut nightie, and it's lovely to wear and ever so glamorous. And this has a lining underneath as well, like the blue one, and it's just nice because it adds a little bit of a modest layer. And this is the matching robe. Ever so elegant. Honestly, when you wear beautiful sets like these, you just feel like you can float around the house and be so carefree. It's just so lovely, and it takes you to another time, back to the 1950s. This last one here is a little matching two-piece. It is a 1960 set with the top and a little matching pair of undies. And this two-piece set is something that I also pinched from my sister. I just thought it was so cute, and I didn't have a little two-piece set like this. I feel like it completes the look with having a pair of go-go boots. I don't have any go-go boots, so this is just the look. I would recommend going out, have some fun shopping, go to the thrift store, and you might end up finding a gem of a nightgown that could end up being your favorite piece to wear. Thank you again all so much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye! God, it's hot in this though.